Hey guys, Luna here, and we are back with Hiveswap Friendsim. Stumbled over my words, and I've already made 6 wonderful friends. The first being the cerulean blood is hard. It's a hard life no one understands. The second is finding the simple joys of the savory bun delights. You became a muse for struggling artists. You sympathize with the drawbacks of the online fame. The bronze brawling, you fought off a pack of lustrous wranglers. And finally, self-care, we took care of the weakest link as part of the vampiric jade bloods. Now, next, which you can see with the bloodthirst and brothwurst, aesthetic, crimson and otherwise, and ladies of grey and lustrous white. We're now on to Volume 4 of Right and Wronged. Another blue blood, some type of blue blood and bronze blood. Fresh from your most recent bout of gracious bodily injury and touching scenes of camaraderie, no idea how to pronounce that, you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks and made a couple silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But let nobody say that you, the main character, are incapable of growth and change. You have made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again. You have made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures await you. Adventures like friendship. So we have a Jade Blood Tagora Gorjek. We have, I think, another Bronze Blood Valkyrie Ratkite. As in all of our previous episodes, we always go with the left choice first. You wander down the streets, not in a not too demolished looking part of town, but you don't really take much of it in. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words right now. You're not even looking where you're going. This is an elementary mistake, especially on a planet where everything that exists seems to be on a spectrum of engineered specifically for murder to could be a weapon in a pinch, but you've got a lot on your mind. And now, as the car, these guys probably have some ridiculous word for it, but you haven't learned it, you hadn't noticed, slams into you, sending you flipping head over feet. You add a few new concerns to your list. Bones and organs. The sound of the driver yelling, "Watch where you're going, lump squirt chugger," fades as they drive away and you're certain of your situation. You stretch each limb in turn, which, you gotta say, doesn't feel great. You've landed in a bush, which is covered in sharp spines. Your arms and legs still work, though, and when it comes... Yeah, my glasses are disgusting. My glasses look horrible, but just trying to clean them up at least a little. There we go. Your arms and legs still work, though, and when you do an experimental cough, no blood comes out. Pretty lucky, you think. You may ever find what luck means by this point in your journey, but you'll take what you can get. You don't figure that luck will extend to the driver turning around to help you out of this bush. Your gazes meet in sparkling an immediate and intense connection that leads to a beautiful lifelong friendship, but you let yourself hope. After a few minutes of struggle, the answer to your camaraderie daydreams comes into focus above you. A figure outlined by the spiny leaves of your plant prison in the glow of the moons. The Cho you see isn't the driver of the car, but you don't care. Your heart is beating wildly with your continued lucky... some type of tagline. You seem to have fallen to a collide and scamper with that cuddly pack there. Plus 50 introductory fee. Have you contacted your personal legislator? If not, I'd like to offer you my services. My name is Terjek, but please call me Gorgo. I'm here for you. For a nominal fee, of course. 10. He pulls out a business card from his sleek teal vest and offers it to you. The precise flick of the wrist. His claws bends are perfect. You try again to sit up, buoyant by this offer for assistance. You some type of doctor, maybe you're a lawyer? Doesn't matter really, because he said he was here for you. Those words go right ahead and burn themselves into the softest chamber of your heart. You start telling him about your plight so far, reaching up through the brambles toward the beacon of hope. This guy seems trustworthy, and that's not just your lack of option stacking, you swear. As you shift, the moonlight shines on you. He steps back briefly, dropping the card. The one eye that's not covered by super product-infused hair opens wide. He recovers, soothing his hand down his chest and straightening up, clearing his throat as he continues to explain. You're what? Oh yes, an alien, I knew that. I've done work with aliens before, so your situation shouldn't be an issue at all. 200 something like alien ledgers. Everyone deserves an equal opportunity to be represented. In fact, we may be able to use this in our favor for a larger cash settlement. It all depends on our angle. Try moving your chung column. You aren't sure why this is necessary, but you wiggle your torso, hoping that's right. You never wanted anything more in your meager existence than to follow this specific directive perfectly. No, not that. You add in a little hip jiggle, not so much that he might think it's a come on, but it's enough to say, hey, I'm friendly, I know what the fuck I am doing. No, you're the thing that holds up your thick pan, work with me. Confusion annulments, plus 60. You continue what you hope is the part of a chill friendship ritual, shimmying buried parts of your anatomy deeper into the bush until you get to your neck, and he clasps his hands together. There you go, that one hurt, didn't it? Definitely a case of column snap, which you can get as a hefty restitution. Your neck feels fine, or it doesn't hurt any more than the rest of you, but you give him what you hope is a conventionally painful nod of agreement. Of course, you'll need to front the initial legislation costs. You may also have to injure you further to ensure your case is convincing, but you gotta break a few like beast embryos to make a couple less, you know? 500 initial costs. Well, I think we might have a mutual beneficial team if you're willing to do what it takes to bring about the justice you deserve. So how do you say? How could you like to help me? How would you like to help me help you? I just like how his little thing is where you have to sign. It's acting really fast, and you're not sure exactly what to think about your lack of funds or the idea of breaking any more bones, but that smile is sharp and shiny and pointing right at you. You want more of it. Let's see, for the choices. Ask him if he does pro bono work. You thank him profusely for his offer to help and explain that while your situation hasn't exactly left you very rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like the guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees one, and you can't imagine a better deal than that. You reach your both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you up out of the plant like a gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Shame, such a shame too. I was hoping working with an alien might make a more interesting day than usual. Minus 900, you're not worth it. He turns on his heel and walks away, his high ponytail swishing behind him. Friendship is not a currency. Tell him about the heaps of money you definitely have. You mentioned how incredibly loaded you are and how core to the senses of value it is to pay well for good work. That's what we call good business. Now get up and out of that prickled fawn and let's get you presentable. He watches you flail a few times before he sighs and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. It takes a while, but you are good at being patient. There is a 12% cost increase for instances of manual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. 110 manual labor hike. It's itemized. Alien and mean such as yourself will be able to handle it. You take his hand and he pulls you up and out of the bush. It's a rough job. He's not as strong as he looks, you guess. He glares at you like he's daring you to say shit about it, and you're a quick learner. He cuts you off mid-thank you. My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently binding documents. He walks with a purpose. You shake off the flora stuck in your various body parts and do the best to catch up. From the outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during your shitstorm of cultural exchange, though. Gotta pay cool when a friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of I don't know how to pronounce that word. They might have laying around, and you want to prepare a nice chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. Is a weasel, and his house looks very nice, very chic and very modern, or at least modern in terms of comparatively to modern where I live. So it doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside because it's all chrome and glass and broad white walls in there. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display room he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory, and then never sat down in it. His Duskus, a ferret, is chilling on an enormous silvery thing that's halfway between a throne and a plate tower. Everything is clean and bright and perfect right angles, and you can't see any weapons anywhere. It's creepy. You ask him if he just moved in, because polite conversation seems like maybe the best thing you can do, the absence of something specific to focus your fear on. You're just sort of a little afraid of everything. You're not paying me to learn my life story, unless you'd like to. In that case, I've lived here most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your bill. 115. A 1,500 life story. You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it? By all means, do not make yourself at home. I head straight into my Appalachian shop while I prepare a contract. You really want to connect with this guy, and you like how you just vibed there where you were thinking about sitting in your draggled ass in his fancy chair, and he could totally tell you were thinking it, but you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word chap right there in its name without he's pondering it for a second. You become savvier doing all of this. Save again. No entrapment, please. You tell him you would rather stay away from any and all traps if that's alright. You mentioned that you think that's a better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he's said explicitly that, you probably have the vibe going after all. He takes a claw on his chin and looks you up and down. He takes his time. Try not to blush, no matter how exacting his game. Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make it a pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just got run over. Frown. It takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotion responsive instead of just doing with his face. He's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try and look as pathetic as possible. Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful, completely repugnant. 450 Pokemon payment. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble and meek a few steps toward him. Great, yes. That's enough. No need to come any closer. 450, seriously, you smell terrible. Okay, then, now we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part, bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print out the contract and we can move on. 100 reimbursement for ink reimbursement. You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the typed things and staples the printed things. His fair Luskus stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgo has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this or don't. Sign it either way. It's a standard legislator agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. You know you agree to submit your testimony to be judged and will accept whatever subrogation you receive. Recognize that any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing your local account before your portion can be dispensed to you in the event of your culling. I will act as executioner of your account. Blah blah blah, same old business. I'm sure it's the same where you're from. There are stars in each place where you are to initial. 120.50 shrunken check 6 cents. That was sure a lot of stuff you just got told real fast. You're trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on his monologue and it was really distracting because he couldn't stop thinking about if he could incorporate a wink into a secret handshake maybe. Anyways, regular legal jargon, yeah, just like all the times you click to say you read the term in harmless social media app. Stuff never ends up being relevant. You show off your exquisitely polished Jane Hancock as many times as it takes. Excellent. Everything's in order then. Are you ready to head out? Oh, like, now? No, you're not ready. You look roughed up enough. Will your bones need to be through any more ordeals? What's a subjugulator? Distarga? No need, no sweep like the one you're in, as they say. 50, swear jar. Pardon language. It's an idiom. It means it's time to go. 5 minus 50 for language. You follow him out as excellent swiftly as you follow him. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you wonder where the glorious feat of justice is going to take place, and if anyone's going to saponi the asshole that hit you. Is that even a thing here? Skip up to match Charger's pace and ask. There's no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. If it seems prudent enough to pin the crime on them when the time comes, I will have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood cash should be efficient, but it seems worth the call in their dented scuttleblog, and I can certainly do that as well. 150 bonus for a potential fame job. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like on a matcher's level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it, now that you spent some time with him. It's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast you feel like down your back. You look at Tyrion first. He stopped walking. His cute little ponytail looks a little more alert. He's starting at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much else from what that entails, aside from what you're picking up from the full hair on end cat Gorgor next to you. Pleasant evening, sir. It always somehow gets sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you've felt it on yourself the whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill because his smile gets huge, and no, you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself into a term treat you, hey, be cool look. It's then that you learn that this guy's smile is not to be nice kind. What's this? Yes, Gorgor has picked up a little friend. It's nuts. We have a working relationship. You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet, it's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You groan pitifully all about your bones. Alright, you're a booming drone pursuing business. This, client you have here looks extra shitty. Good luck getting anything good for whatever this mutant is that you scapped up from the grizzled grades. If you take a moment to consider the potential, the blue guy rolls his eyes and blaying his way right between the two of you on his way past like you're nothing. Tagora freezes. Oh no, he's shaking. They stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't even processed the movement yet, even though he's got knocked back a few steps in his wake. He starts shaking. Yikes, that was tense. I want to say something reassuring to Tagora, but he's kind of ascended to another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood. You put a ginger hand on the near vicinity of the body and he roars to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavy. You snatch your hand back fast. Stay. Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what 5,000 damages for slide down antisocial ladder? No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a little weird hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the 750 return of surcharge. You start laughing out, high-pitched and weird. Up until now, you seem so slick, slowable, unflappable, that Gorgor is so hard to reconcile with that one pacing back and forth, hollowing and grabbing his face. He's pretty goddamn flaps. Oh boy, really screwed up, huh? Maybe your bust and neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing. Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out before the scene really blows up. You tell him so. Neck is fine. Look, your headbang is a bit to prove it. No, a deal. It's a deal. Bruising slowly through his nose. Right, Gaga. Your mantra. He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts up that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an dropping barnacle with really slow legs, like maniac Google bubbles out in between sentences. We're headed toward justice, alright. Barking, we're seeing this through. Got a bottom line to uphold. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer-client relationship still has a chance to blossom into something more. You venture a friendly type topic. You ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you shot in his luscious. Asks someone what their mantra is. 250 mantra crest 42. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stinky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all of the hairs he shook out during the freak-out, pivots and turns down the side streets. Anyways, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill this in terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you, for you. But it has become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I have to consider the significant career setbacks I just experienced at your fleckless hands. So instead of wasting any more time on yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. 5,500 verdict. Guilty verdict. See, wait, wasn't it supposed to be the other guys on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Oh, this is bad. You've been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight to the shittier part of town. You know, the part that all half-demoralized highs and creepy noises and drones flying around. Drones like this one that turn to notice you when Tagora whistles, snaps his fingers, and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unavailable troll. Just the way you like it. Maybe you shouldn't feel so surprised at this betrayal, but maybe you do, for a second anyways. But then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drones get closer. This is true, this next street over. Probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Dues is 25,000 for dues. Game over. That was unexpected. Take a bath. You're more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you just received, but hey, at least a trap you know about is better than one you don't. And with everything else it's so freaky pristine, he has to be hiding some evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. Could be. A dungeon could be cool. The ferret bounces down off the pedestal and jerks its head for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do, and Tagora is busy on his computer. It leads you to a bathroom, which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've just seen. The Luskus chitters at you for a second, scrums its big noodle body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. You wait a second till it's probably gone before you touch the handle. It's unlocked. Huh. You wonder what the point or, motive might be for leading you into this room until you turn and see yourself in the mirror. That is some haggard-looking stuff right there, so there. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess you're maybe supposed to take a bath. If not, he gets pissed and leashes a ferret on you. At least you'll meet your maker nice and clean. You half expected some indiscernible goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet or the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps, unidentified lather sums, accessories by the ton alone. There's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experienced a moment of luxury solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching can be difficult work. It's good to recharge. Once you've freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find an irresistible vial. You hope you won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as heck, ready to knock the friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn-up clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes folded on the shelf, and head back. Standing in the foyer, waiting with the concept he typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrows tick up. I see you went with the Rainbow Drinker Serum full body application. Bold choice. And I do expect to be reimbursed, but I won't lie, it works. 15,000 crush friend handmade cosmetics. Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what the stuff is, since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little shock and tell him you hadn't seen such scrumptious array of self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself. Not everyone takes skincare as seriously as they should. I assumed you were taking forever in there because you got lost or didn't know how to use the ablution trap. I hadn't considered the possibility you were just doing your regimen. Noted. 500 minus 500 for rich baits for skincare. You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you really got going on. This time, You're not really even bullshitting. It does actually look pretty good. Tagora seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something and changing his mind. He's clutching the documents in his hand like a flotation device. He looks down at them, then back at you. Typically you only use that product to highlight my cheek blades, but there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there's a certain unorthodox glamour to it. The next bit looks like it hurts him to get a bit out. Do you? Would you like to step outside to see the full effect? Bet your ass you would. You're curious about what he means by effect. This seems like more fun than signing stuff. He places a document down on his desk like paper. He looks up at his Luskus, who just sort of tilts his head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora cleans his throat and heads toward the door. You don't comment on his bluish flush in his cheeks. For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems like he might get a kick out on your butt if you tried to get too feeling-y with him. As soon as you start to glow as soon as you step back out to the dark front yard. Not in a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle ethereal luminous. What is this stuff? Now that is a look. I mean, there's still an unfortunate issue of your hornlessness and overall appearedness, and the fact you're still wearing my ablution robe. But it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You almost look like a real one. You don't know what that means, but you want to roll around eternally in the raised part. You ask if the look will help your case. Oh, right, your case, of course. He bites his lips and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. He hopes he still wants to represent you, or at least that he would want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his eye. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eyes though. Huh. Wow, Gorjek, what do you have here? It's a blue-themed troll, which, if you remember right, means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like troll Christmas came early. Oh, hey. You can feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets close enough to look at you, he jumps and screeches, "What the blood-boiling fuck?" Tagora is frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The GNU guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear. If his look is fantasized horror, it's anything to go by. You really know what makes you do it. You should wait for Tagora to get himself together and do the talking, but you're riding on the high of him almost seeming like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boosts confidence like looking like a beautiful spooky angel. So you toss your head, put on your best fancy guy voice, and say, "What, never seen a real one before?" You're placing all your chips on this guy, knowing something you don't. But when his eyes get huge and starts stumbling over himself to back away down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Or blinks, then jumps right in, picking up directly where he left off. Really, someone as well informed as yourself knows a rainbow trinket when he sees one. The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more than coherence, then a string of yelps as he tails back to where he came. When he's gone, you turn to Tagora and ask him super casually what a rainbow drinker is, aka a vampire. He stares at you in stunned silence. Are you telling me you didn't know? You nod. And that you ran with it anyways, exploring the fear you picked up on it to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor. You shrug. Yes, so. You tell Tagora you hope his friend wasn't too freaked out. Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though technically fearing me is just as good. Better maybe. So you know, Tagora's laugh is soft. It's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because something you did. Can't help it, you start laughing too. That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming. Anyways, I underestimated you. He gives you a appraisal look, then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous about all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the precipice of what might be about to say. One provocator to another, I'll let you on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before. Search for truth reveal. Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his act was airtight. As long as everyone's doing the truth thing, you admit you let you bit too. You're not actually rich. Yes, that's clear now. You have an invaluable ability to fake it though. That's potentially much better. Why don't we put your case on the hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of our legal system anyways. 150 for preemptive interest on held suits. We can find an alternate means of working off your debts. I think we may have a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries. He flexes his hand at his side, then in one swift and decisive movement, he extends it out to you. On his face is something close to an honest-to-God and real smile. We've formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it's done. What do you say? 5% friendship discount. The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in your firm, nonsense grasp of pure, inexorable joy and then shake it. We're going to leave this here. I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path, forever might lead you into the future. Bye-bye.